If you own or run a business, this video might be the most important video you watch this year. Now, in truth, it is aimed at established businesses rather than startups, people who've been trading for at least a couple of years, probably employing some staff and having a 6 or even a 7-figure turnover. And if that is you, that's brilliant, because it means you're setting your own salary, you're choosing your working hours, you're choosing your colleagues, you may be even thinking about setting your business, or does it? Because the truth is, it's not actually always that smooth sailing, is it? In fact, you might feel like the business is actually running you. Maybe your staff aren't always meeting your expectations. You find you often have to be reactive rather than proactive in your management. You find it difficult driving the business forward or making significant changes. Worst of all, the financial earnings you're getting may not even support the lifestyle that you want for you and your family. It's a fact from the Office of National Statistics that business owners don't meet their initial goals. But you probably already knew that because you started with a dream or maybe a goal. Could have been financial success or flexibility or freedom, and often those things become unfulfilled. And the result is that many business owners actually lose sight of their initial goals and compromise them over time. In fact, over 96% of UK businesses never actually reach the £1 million of annual turnover. And the reality is that actually achieving the lifestyle you really want and the financial security you require is really challenging unless you're nearing that kind of a level. And businesses with lower turnovers, sort of even £300,000 to £500,000, may sustain a really nice living, but it involves hard work. And really, essentially, what you're doing is owning a job. Issues like insufficient pension funds or debt might come up. That underscores the whole limit of being a smaller scale operation. And these business owners are definitely not living what I like to call their ideal life. They might even feel stuck, finding that they're repeating the same business year over and over and over again and lacking any real progress. In fact, I've seen it many times where a decade-old business might just actually have run the business in the same way with the same results and the same profits 10 times in a row for 10 years. The good news is that this video promised to offer you some strategies that you can actually break free from that cycle and get a completely new perspective, a different type of approach to thinking about and running your business. My goal is to help viewers to create both the business and the lifestyle that they want and they deserve. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's easy. There are challenges about scaling a business, and it suggests sometimes it's really hard to overcome these, but with the right strategies, you definitely can. And the first thing you need to do is simply break the cycle. You might have seen me talk about Harry the hamster, who's running on his little hamster wheel as fast as he possibly can. And we've all seen that analogy, haven't we? Because so many business owners are just like Harry. They're on their own hamster wheel, not actually even getting off at any point to check whether the cage they're in is one that they like. The only way to get off the hamster wheel is actually, first of all, to realise that you're on it. And the solution to that is to have a new mindset and a new strategy for business growth. In other words, what you actually need to do is think about a structured process that you can achieve business growth with. And that can take you well past 6 figures, well past even the 7 figures. I want to introduce you to what I call the pyramid of business. And there are 5 crucial figures in the pyramid of business. And those are 1, 4, 15, 60, and 20. And each of these percentages, they represent the distribution of success with any industry, any geographical area, any group of business owners really. And at the pyramid's peak, 1%, just 1, are the elite. Now they're enjoying significant wealth and success. And in your industry, in your area, you can probably think straight away of who that is. Who is that 1% that's doing really, really well? Just below that 1%, there's another 4% who are prospering. They're nearing the pinnacle. They're doing very well indeed. The next tier, which is 15%, they're achieving a comfortable living and they are making solid but slow progress. They are living a good life. They're possibly having those nice holidays. They might drive a fancy car or live in a big house, but they're not quite there yet. They still have to watch those figures. They still have to think about their future a little bit more carefully. And their life is very different to the stark reality that sets in within the 60%. which is of course the majority. Because those 60%, they face constant financial struggle, barely managing to meet the essential payments like payroll or even VAT. Life in that segment of the pyramid is really, really tough. But at the base, 20% are in dire financial straits. This distribution prompts a critical realisation. The truth is, the vast majority are not achieving their business goals, not because of a lack of effort, but possibly due to a lack of strategic action and clear focus. The stark analysis reveals that actually the majority in any industry are not achieving their goals, with 80% either financially struggling or barely getting by. If you reflect on this, just consider where you stand. As I said, only 4.5% of businesses ever reach that £1 million turnover benchmark, and that's the common benchmark for success. So it's evident that achieving it needs some really distinct and different attitudes and actions. These numbers aren't just stats, they're a call to action to make you think how to operate differently and to move away from that crowded base in the bottom half of the pyramid and move further up toward the peak. The initial entrepreneurial goal wasn't just for you to survive, was it? Or to get by, or to pay your bills. But this has become, for most people, the common reality. So what we've got to do is change. To achieve exceptional success, business owners need to adopt different strategies and different mindset from the majority of the people in business. So what do we have to do to get to the top of the pyramid? Now, if you watch my webinar, you'll know already that between 2010 and 2022, I built, scaled, systemised and removed myself from my own business, Elite Tents. I put in the processes and the team that could run it for me, achieving a regular, consistent influx of inquiries and customers for what really was a high-end luxury but transactional product. And that means that I've dealt with the issues that you deal with. I've dealt with the staff, the customers, the VAT. I've worried about the cash flow, especially in the winter months. And of course, throughout COVID, when we had no income at all for 18 months. I've been there and I've got the t-shirt. But what I did learn from it was that every positive thing I systemised and every negative thing I learned from. And as a result, I now help other business owners to systemise their business, to get that rhythmic acquisition of customers, and most exciting of all, to increase their profits. I'm going to share just one with you. He's a commercial electrician who, up until the middle of 2023, was a sole trader, working all the time and worrying about his work-life balance. But Andy's learned how he needs to outsource. He's got his time back so he can work on the things that will make his business move forward, the things that will enable his business to grow. And in just the last quarter, Andy turned over the same as he did in the whole of the previous 12 months. And he's had 2 holidays. You see, if you want to profitably grow your business to 7 figures and beyond, then the first thing you have to realise is that there is a structure to doing it. I did it for my business, and I work with business owners to help them to do the same, to build the business that they've always dreamed of, to achieve the success that they've always wanted, to make the business work independently of you, so that the focus shifts from being over-reliant on the owner to a much more autonomous operation. What we're going to do is break the cycle of paying yourself last. The ultimate aim, you see, is for an owner to be running the business effectively rather than being run by it. However, there is a caveat to this, because once you understand all this and once you start to move towards the top of the pyramid, one of the issues that can happen is you might get a bit stuck. You see, some business owners, they realise they need to act. They jump straight in and they start trying to get more leads before they've got the foundations in place. And that means they're doing things in the wrong order. It's a little bit like building a house and buying the bricks and just starting to pile them up rather than checking the plans out and making sure that you've got all the right amount of materials and all the correct measurements and the mortar. It just simply doesn't work, which is why I work through a structured approach with you. I work one-to-one with aspiring business owners to help them firstly find out the gap between where they are now and where they want to be. We do this by looking at their goals and their dreams and their terms. That's the time, energy, resources, money and sanity that they want and need from their business. We make sure we've got absolute clarity and clear business goals. Again, you might have seen me talk about Alice and her encounter with the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland. "Would you tell me, please," said Alice, "which way I ought to go from here?" "That depends a good deal on where you want to get to," said the cat. "I don't much care where," said Alice. "Then it doesn't matter which way you go," said the cat. So like Alice, you need to know where you're going, otherwise you're just meandering through the woods, aren't you? So knowing your desired outcomes shapes much better business decisions. So our first step focuses on defining a clear vision for both the business's future and the owner's personal life, ensuring there's complete alignment with the financial goals and the lifestyle aspirations. We cost out that ideal life, and then we look at how their business can be reverse engineered to throw off the profit that they want and need. We get down and dirty with their business numbers, understanding the key numbers that will help them to drive their business successfully. This is often when the scales fall from the business owner's eyes, when they can see in black and white exactly what the numbers are that will help them to leverage the sales and massively increase their profits. So getting clarity with your 7 key business numbers absolutely transforms any vague or confusing financial data that you're used to getting from your accountant, and it becomes clear, understandable, and very useful information. It takes away that impulse to check the bank balance every day to understand what your financial position is, because that's completely wrong. And all of this understanding helps ask the right questions of the business that will point you to where you need to be focusing your attention. This step sets the stage for informed decision making and targeted action plans. And ultimately, it'll enable you as a business owner to align your personal ambitions with the business's strategic direction and give you a mindset that's geared towards achieving absolute victory and success. So you're playing to win instead of playing not to lose. And once you've got clarity around your numbers, we'll take a look at your business through a magnifying glass. We'll analyse exactly where that business is now and look at it as if we were investors to find out what is working and where we need to focus some attention. And from that, we'll create a really detailed strategic plan to help you achieve your goals. We'll identify the opportunities, particularly looking in the early days for opportunities to get the low-hanging fruits so that we can start that business to propel it forward. And then we'll look at how you differentiate your business. So focus on moving away from price competition towards becoming a unique and stand-out business, creating a category of one where you're no longer judged by your pricing. And once all this is completed, these are the foundations, then we can start to look at how you deliver what you need, starting with your staff. I'll help the business owner to work out a structure for their business, to build a team that not only works for them, but actually loves the business like they do. We'll look at the ways to get their staff working as a team by focusing on creating the right work environment, the right motivations for current and for future staff. Letting go is the next step. Now that won't be easy to begin with, but it is absolutely necessary if you want to move up that pyramid. You'll transition from hands-on management to empowering a team so that they take ownership and responsibility, and so that you know who's accountable for what. The next stage is to create a marketing strategy that means that new inquiries come in rhythmically every single day, every single month, and we ensure that they have all the systems and processes around them so that those inquiries, those prospects come in and become sales, and ensure also that the level of excellence in the business keeps those customers coming back, keeps them telling their friends about who the business is and why they should interact with them too. We call this the rhythmic acquisition of customers. It establishes a consistent, predictable method for gaining new customers day in, day out. We'll create the marketing strategy and the system so there's no more of that famine and feast, no more reaction, but absolute proaction. We'll make sure you understand the cost of acquiring a customer. And then we'll work on looking after your existing customers so that we perfect the internal systems to fulfill promises that we make to them, enhancing their satisfaction and therefore their loyalty. So ensuring an amazing customer experience and a seamless customer journey, removing any service inconsistencies. By this stage, what we'll be aiming for is complete independence from the owner so that day-to-day operations in the business no longer require the owner's involvement, which then allows in turn for scalable growth. And then finally, we'll optimize all of what we've done before so the business owner has choices, whether they want to get a manager in or work less hours, to sell the business or simply just to enjoy the profits. By this time, they'll already be approaching the top end of the pyramid, And that's when we can really start to leverage and to scale, because everything will be all set up and ready to deliver. And then we can literally turn up the volume on your marketing. And that's where the business's growth is significantly accelerated, termed as the business flywheel. Much better than a hamster wheel. And all the way through, which will probably take between 18 months and 2 years, I'll act like a non-exec director in the business, caring passionately about it. I'll advise and support, critique marketing, sitting on meetings if needed, but most of all, I will hold the business owners accountable in our regular sessions so that they do what we have planned together and they do achieve their targets. In short, I'll help you to build a business that isn't dependent on you anymore. So you can take more holidays, you can travel, or you can get involved in other ventures if you want to. This kind of bespoke one-to-one coaching is £599 plus VAT per month. 600 quid, let's say, is an investment to transform your business growth and your personal benefits. Should seem like a snip, but that will depend on your mindset. Because if you're sitting behind that laptop there thinking, oh gosh, that's expensive, that may be an indication that you're not ready to move up the pyramid yet. Because this is an investment. You should view the cost as a pathway to huge achievements such as financial freedom, stress reduction, more holiday, early retirement. And if you're happy to pay $599 plus VAT for that, well, then you definitely need to book a call with me. But if that price is immediately making you feel a little bit uncomfortable and you're thinking your business just can't afford it, that might indicate you're not quite ready for this level of growth program. If so, I do have another option for you, and that is my Business Growth Accelerator program. In that program, we do a lot of what I've talked about and a lot of what I've described, but instead it's done over a 7-week intensive course. You'll be with other business owners too, which is quite a bonus. And once you've completed the course, you'll have that good understanding of your numbers and you'll have a plan to put into action so you can start on the growth trajectory. So if you want to grow, if you know now is your time, but you're still a little bit nervous, this Business Growth Accelerator program could be the answer for you. I run it 4 times a year, so it won't be long till the next one starts. And the best thing you can do is to book a call with me so we can see which is the best fit for you. It'll only take about 30 minutes or so, and the call will allow me to understand the business and assess both yours and its suitability for coaching or for the Business Growth Accelerator program. It'll evaluate whether the business's goals align with what I have on offer. It'll also provide a chance for you to ask detailed questions about both the one-to-one coaching and also the program. So thanks for watching. I hope this video has been informative and useful in showing you the key steps that you need to take to get your business to the top of the pyramid. Each of those steps is truly transformative if they're implemented properly. But the best thing to do if you want to move up the pyramid is to just book a call with me and see if either of the coaching offers will suit you. Remember, you are not signing up to anything now. You're simply taking that first step closer to achieving your business goals. You don't need to commit anything till after the call, and together we can work out which is best. Thank you for your time, and I really look forward to chatting with you in person.